So we are in the middle of April, which means that asparagus season is in full bloom, which also means that this is the time that when you go to supermarkets, you find an abundance of asparagus and at a very good price too. Anyways, with that being said, today we're making a very typical Spanish asparagus soup. This is known in Spain as una sopa de trigueros. And let me tell you, when it comes to asparagus, many people think of it as a side dish. In this recipe, we're going to combine the asparagus with a couple other ingredients to create a luscious and delicious main course. Folks, this soup is packed with a ton of flavors. It comes together in just 30 minutes, and it's the kind of food that's going to fill your body with so much goodness. All right, let's just dive right into this recipe. I'm going to heat a stock pot with a medium heat and add in 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 45 milliliters. While the oil is heating, I'm going to cut 3 slices from a baguette, each one being 1 inch thick, which is about 2.5 centimeters. Then we'll cut each piece of baguette into 6 evenly sized pieces for a total of 18 pieces of bread. And we'll add them into the stock pot. And we'll mix the pieces of bread around, that way they're coated in that olive oil, and we're going to saute them between 3 to 4 minutes or until they're golden fried all around. In the meantime, I'm going to finely chop 1 small onion, roughly chop 4 cloves of garlic, and finely grate 2 tomatoes. Once the pieces of bread are golden fried all around, I'm going to remove them from the stock pot and set them aside. Now, using the same pan with the same heat, I'm going to add in the chopped onion and garlic. And we'll mix the ingredients around, that way they're coated in that olive oil. And at this point, I like to mix this continuously, that way everything evenly sautés. After about 4 minutes, and the onion is nice and translucent, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is about 2.5 grams. And we'll give it a quick mix, that way the paprika is evenly coating the ingredients. As always, the Spanish paprika I'm using is from Kiva. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below, and if you buy it from that link, you'll also get 25% off your order. Then we'll add in the grated tomato, and we'll give it a mix until everything's well mixed together, and then we're going to simmer it for a couple minutes without mixing the mixture. In the meantime, let's start getting our asparagus ready. I'm going to grab a bundle of fresh asparagus. This is just your typical bundle, which is about 300 grams. I'm going to start by cutting off between 2 to 3 inches from the ends, which is about 5 to 8 centimeters. Then we'll add the asparagus into a strainer and rinse them under some cold running water. And we'll add them into a salad spinner and spin them completely dry. If you don't have a salad spinner, no big deal. You can just pan them dry with a dishcloth. And for the final step, we'll cut the asparagus into 1 inch pieces, which is 2.5 centimeters. Alright, let's move back to the pan. Once the grated tomato has slightly thickened up, it's been simmering for about 4 minutes. I'm going to add in the pieces of asparagus, the pieces of bread that we fried earlier, and we'll season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a mix until everything's well mixed together. Then we'll add in 4 cups of vegetable broth, which is about 1 liter. Of course, you can also use water to make this soup, but by using the veggie broth, it gives it a bigger depth of flavors. You'll find a link on how to make my homemade vegetable broth in the description box below and iCard above. Then we'll turn it up to a high heat and bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to place a lid on the stock pot and lower it to a low-medium heat. And we're going to simmer this for about 5 minutes. This is enough time for those spears of asparagus to have a nice tender texture and for all the flavors to develop. Of course, if the asparagus you're using are thicker, simmer this for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, let's get our final ingredient ready. I'm going to grab 2 large eggs and crack each one into individual bowls. You can skip this step if you like and just crack the eggs directly into the stock pot. But as you know, I always like to take this step as it ensures that no eggshells go into your dish and that the yolks are not broken. Once the asparagus are nice and tender, I'm going to remove the lid and we'll gently add the eggs into the stock pot, making sure they're evenly spread out. Then we'll place the lid back on the stock pot and we're going to continue to simmer this between 3 to 4 minutes until those egg whites are fully cooked through. Once the eggs are cooked, this soup is ready to go. I'm going to remove the stock pot from the heat and we'll transfer some of the soup into a shallow bowl. And for the final touch, we'll sprinkle it with some fresh parsley. Check it out, our sopa de trigueros is done. A typical Spanish asparagus soup, super easy to make, made with the simplest and humblest ingredients, and all done in just 30 minutes. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. As always, folks, now it's time for the moment of truth. Let's see how this soup turned out. Here we go. Look at that. First things first, it just instantly warms your soul and fills you with so much goodness. And the asparagus and the pieces of bread give it such a beautiful texture. Folks, you saw it's so easy to make. Comes together in about 30 minutes. Give it a try at home. I promise you're gonna love it. And it truly proves that asparagus are so much more than just a side dish. Really quick before I go, shout out to a couple of my patrons, Maria, Catherine Deshays, Karen Reynolds, Leslie Tyson, and Alan Sanchez. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Fork community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego.